So if Catching Fire ends up being the best of the Hunger Games series, is Insurgent just gonna be the opposite of that? Insurgent is directed by Robert Schwenke and stars Shailene Woodley, Ansel Elgort, Theo James, and Miles Teller. And it is based on the novel, again, of course, by Veronica Roth. So just a quick heads up, in order for me to talk about the plot of this movie, I gotta talk about the end of Divergent. So, if you haven't seen Divergent, you might want to stop this review here and go watch that movie first. This movie picks up right where Divergent left off, with our heroes on the run from Janine and her band of crazy dauntless who weren't under the mind control from the last movie. They hide out with Amity for a little while, but then they have to keep moving, and they run into the Factionalists, which is this world's version of homeless people, essentially. Basically, that means they don't belong to any group. When they meet up, they find out that the Factionalists are thinking of starting a rebellion, which is A-okay with Triss, and they go to find the rest of the Dauntless who were under the mind control and are now in hiding. Meanwhile, Eric and the rest of the bad Dauntless find this strange box in Abnegation, and Janine really just wants to know one thing about it. Oh God, what's in the box? What's in the box? She discovers that it can only be opened by someone who's 100% divergent. Guess who that's gonna be? Some of the good things in this movie, the action and the stunt work is really good. Just like the first one, it's a lot of fun to watch. They got some solid action scenes in this movie. Not phenomenal or anything, but for a young adult novel, they are pretty good. And you know, I enjoyed a lot of the scenes. Shailene Woodley is definitely the best part of this movie. She's a fantastic actress. She can really do drama. There's this great scene early on in the movie where she has to testify to this other faction and prove that she is in fact not a crazy rebellious, but she actually has a solid reason for having rebelled. And she has to divulge information that is really hard for her and talk about stuff that happened at the end of the first one. And some of the people that died at the end of the first one that were really close to her. And it's really sad moment. It's actually really well done. Theo James in this movie, just like the last one, is not good in this movie. He's so one note. And so the whole relationship between him and Triss suffers because he's not a very charismatic actor. Miles Teller was alright. Again, he's done better, but, you know, just like the last one. Another good thing about this movie, the cinematography. There are, again, some great shots. Like, later on in the movie, and it's in the trailer, and those who have read the book will know what I'm referring to, but the stuff with the box, I won't get into it for those who haven't seen it, because I thought this was really cool. But, of course, there are problems with this movie. What are they? Well, first of all, we pretty much begin with a dream sequence. I mean, God, there's like 2 dream sequences in this movie. What is this, Nightmare on Elm Street? Or Inception or something? What the heck is the point of these dream sequences? It just prolongs the length of the movie. The funny thing about this adaptation is, from what I've heard from the fans of the book, apparently they changed a lot, which is really funny because the pacing is so weird, and there were scenes that felt like, why is this here, except for because maybe it was written like this in the book. But if you're going to change a lot, as apparently they did, why have these scenes? Like, for instance, there's the moment where they go to the Factionalists at first, and the Factionalists want to start a rebellion, and they're like, no, we're not going to be a part of a rebellion, although Triss does want to at first, obviously, but the rest of them are like, no, we're not going to be a part of that. And then they go back to them and say, okay, yeah, we'll do that. It's like, okay, what was the point of that? We knew that was going to happen. What was the point of that? Now, a pretty big annoying problem in this movie is Ansel Elgort's character, who is Shailene Woodley's brother. I didn't really talk about him in my Divergent review, but that's just because he didn't have a whole lot to do. In this one, yeah, he does. And God, do I hate his character in this one. I mean, God, his character, Caleb, is literally the biggest pussy I've ever seen in a movie that I can think of off the top of my head. There's a scene early on when they have to jump on a train, and the Factionalists are there. This is when they run into the Factionalists for the first time. And they don't really like that they're there. They want to kick their butts. Now, obviously, Triss and Forrest are fighting back. Caleb goes and runs and hides. But that's not even the worst part of this. The worst part is that Triss is almost about to get her butt kicked by this one guy to the point where she gets thrown out of the train, probably killed. You know, she's being choked out. You know, she's going to die, basically. She could die here. And you know what Caleb does? He's too much of a pussy to do anything. He just stands there going, I don't want to fight. I don't like fighting. Can we all hold hands and hug? Can't we all just get along? I'm a pussy. I think the Divergents are wrong. Blah, 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 blah. And it gets worse. Because guess what? Spoiler alert! He decides to side with Gene by the end. It says that the Divergents are wrong. Worst character in this whole series. Miles Teller's character is better than this piece of crap. I don't know, maybe he gets better in the books. Maybe, I hope so, because God, if he gets worse than the last two, I can't wait for him to get his butt fully kicked by the end of this series. Because holy crap, I do not like that character in this movie at all. Overall, I honestly didn't hate this movie, but I didn't really like it either. It was kind of just okay. Like, a good amount of it was good, but also there was enough bad in it where, I can't give it a pass, guys. The fact that the writing was bad, the pacing was bad, and some of the characters were so stupidly written. Well, Hansel Elgort. It's just, that just brings the movie down. Like, anything good, it's just like, I'm sorry, it doesn't outweigh the bad in this case. So, I'm gonna have to give it 2.5 out of 5 stars. That being said, I am hoping this is as bad as it gets. I'm still looking forward to Insurgent Part 1 and 2, because that's a thing now. But I'm still looking forward to those movies. This didn't taint the movie series at all. Not to a huge degree at all. It's just probably the weakest link. I hope it's the weakest link in this. So that's my review of Insurgent. And if you like this review, please like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.